Hey everyone, what's going on? It's time for another episode of Atoms for the Love of Movie Picks. This time around, we are going to be talking about the 2012 hit video Battleship, loosely based off the Hasbro board game. So the premise of Battleship. First of all, before we get to that, it stars Taylor Kitsch, Alexander Skarsgård, Liam Neeson, Brooklyn Decker, and has Rihanna as well in it, the singer. So basically, with the premise of it, it starts off with this kind of loser guy, in his 20s and doesn't really have much going on for him. Is not really leading a good life, can't hold down a job. And he ends up joining the Navy because of his brother. Now, that the loser guy is Taylor Kitsch. His name is Alex Hopper. And his brother is Stone Hopper, which is who Alexander Skarsgård plays. Basically, the start of the movie, it's obviously fake in the movie, but it's based off a real life thing called RIMPAC. Is going on at the time. The movie, by the way, the whole movie takes place in Hawaii, basically. RIMPAC is Rim of the Pacific exercise. Excuse me. It's basically a naval war games that they do. It's based off a real thing that they do. Countries from all over the world, navies from all over the world get together to participate in these naval war games. So basically, that's been going on in Hawaii, basically what happens is instead of a bunch of people playing a board game kind of thing, it's basically aliens who's invade the Earth. Their technology is naval based, like in the water. Hence why the whole naval theme that's going on in the movie. So basically, the human navy, the modern human navy, I should say, relies mostly on aircraft carriers with jets to do the work, as well as smaller ships like destroyers, cruisers, and of course you got your submarines going on. In short, they don't really rely on the heavy firepower as much anymore, whereas the aliens technology kind of does. And their technology is a little bit more advanced, so it's a little harder for them to stand up to the aliens. And then that's where the title of the movie, Battleship, eventually at one point in the movie, the old World War II battleship. It's a real battleship. I mean, obviously they didn't use the real battleship in the movie for the fight scenes. I think they may have used it for some of the scenes where you see him kind of just coasting just off the coast. But the real life World War II battleship USS Missouri comes in to help. Basically the war games are going on. The aliens land in the water. The reason they're there is that Earth has sent out a beacon into space because they've identified this planet that is very similar to Earth, might have life on it, and they've sent out this thing, as a welcoming thing. Well, the aliens find out and they come in and invade, basically. And, they land in the water while the war games are going on, the RIMPAC. They send a couple of destroyers to figure out what's going on. Two of the Americans, one a Japanese. And basically, two of the destroyers end up getting destroyed. The one American one and the one Japanese one. And the one that's left is the John Paul Jones, which is the ship that Taylor Kitsch's character serves on. He's a lieutenant. It does a pretty good job for a little bit. It manages to destroy a couple of the enemy ships. So when they first land the aliens, they got 4 big ships, and then they end up having a bunch of smaller ships that'll break off of it. Ends up destroying a couple of those, does pretty good. And then they have this one technology the aliens do. It's this crazy, kind of almost looks like a yo-yo thing, but it's like a spinning ball of death. Basically just cuts the ship in half and destroys the John Paul Jones. So they're pretty much left without a ship, except for the USS Missouri, where this is where the Missouri comes into play. Because they need to. So the aliens on entry, I forgot to mention, their one ship, which is a communication ship, hit a satellite on entry and got destroyed. So they're trying to hijack the Earth's communication, because this is basically like a scout party. This is just kind of checking things out, see what's what, and they want to send the signal back to their home planet to say, hey, come on down, invade Earth, it's no problem. And basically, They want to hijack this technology that the Earth had used to talk to the aliens in the first place and send a signal back to their home planet. Well, the crew of the John Paul Jones, as well as some of the crew left over from the Japanese ship, they basically want to stop them from doing this, but they have no ship to do it. So they basically take the USS Missouri out to try and do this. And en route, they basically run into the mothership. It's thrown up. That's the other reason. Sorry, forgot to mention when the three ships went in to investigate what was going on. There was this big mothership that sent up like a force field, and it was basically blocking, any other ships from coming in to aid them and help them out. So basically, they need to destroy the ship to bring down that barrier and get reinforcements of their own in. So yeah, it's a pretty epic scene when they get the USS Missouri going again. I mean, in real life and in the movie, it's basically anchored in Hawaii. It's a floating museum, basically. It's not meant for battle, obviously, anymore. It hasn't seen battle in like 70 years, almost 70 years at that point in the movie. So this whole scene of them it's really cool because they don't really know anything about this old battleship, how it works, how to get it going, how to operate it. And you got these retired World War II veterans that just come in to help. They don't really owe their country anything. They've done their service, but they want to help. It's pretty epic. You got the new school crew from the John Paul Jones and all these retired World War II veterans coming in, getting this ship ready, turning it from a museum back into a battleship. It's pretty epic. You got the AC/DC Thunderstruck song playing while this is going on. It's really cool. Yeah. And it's just awesome and totally badass, them getting this ship ready to fight again. I would say a definite unique moment in movie history for sure, to check that out. Yeah, and so they get the ship going. They round the point, and they basically they're dealing with the mothership, and that whole final battle sequence with the USS Missouri battleship and the aliens master ship, it's just awesome, and it really showcases just how powerful battleships were. I mean, the main guns are just plain nuts in their destructive power. Like the shells, I think they say in the movie alone weigh like 1,000 pounds per shell for their main guns, and it's just one of the coolest battle scenes in movie history, in my opinion. I mean, how often do you see in present day you got a battleship going toe to toe with an alien master ship, and in summary, it's battleships are just awe-inspiring, powerful, and just plain cool. And it's a shame that they do not use them anymore. But at one point early in the movie, Taylor Kitsch's character is talking to a young boy who's on a museum tour of the USS Missouri, and asks why they don't really use battleships anymore. And he says to them, "Well, they're kind of like dinosaurs. They're meant to take a lot of punches, but they're not really fast in any way. But they're just really don't need to be fast. They've got awe-inspiring power. They can take a punch, and they're just really cool. So that's a shame they don't use it anymore, but really cool scene. Definitely check out Battleship if you haven't seen it. Highly recommend it. You will not be disappointed. And yeah, in terms of an age rating, I mean, I would say 13A. I think you can get away with it. I mean, there's not too much gratuitous violence or swearing and anything like that, and it's a decent family movie for all ages. You could pretty much pick it up at any video store, and I don't know if it's available on any streaming platforms, but I'm sure it is. So yeah, Battleship, check it out, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, take care, have a good one. We'll see you later.